Well, good morning, welcome to Chasing Chunks TV and welcome to Bowling for Carp 19. Now, after my previous video, if you've not watched it, at the end of this video I will put a thumbnail for you to go and view. Then Bowling for Carp 18 was from a few sessions down here from last month, and from then I ended the video early due to the fish spawning. Dave did the same, and he closed the fishery for a week, and since then I've been out doing a bit of fishing other places. But to be fair, my thoughts have been on this place because I'm going to be honest, that big girl is due out, and hopefully to my rods. But I've got 48 hours, and when I got up this morning, come down here, then because there is quite a few new members on here, they're a little bit more keener than me to get a swim. A lot of the fish have been showing along the A5 bank, and obviously because the fish spawned over there, then they're still holding fish over on that bank, and obviously a lot of the anglers have gone and fished over there, so there wasn't any options or any swims to actually fish on the A5 that I actually liked. So I've opted to jump in here, which is the island swim. One of my favourite swims, to be fair, so I know a couple of spots out there, and yeah, I'm not on fish. I know I'm not on fish. I've not seen any fish, but I'm hoping within the next 48 hours that they may turn up in front of the swim, or we may be able to nick a fish out of here. Even down towards the bottom of the M6 bank where I've done my previous session, when them fish are down there, then I do like to fish that corner swim because you can get to the back end of the wee beds there. That's stitched up as well, so again the only option was this swim, and yeah, I'm quite happy with my choice, as in regards to getting the best swim you can. But yeah, I think we've got to definitely wait it out on this trip and wait for these fish to push on to us rather than me being able to move on to fish. So this video will once again be a video of the whole month of fishing down here, because I'm doing a few other waters as well. Then I'm not going to be putting too much time in down on the Bowl Syndicate, and when I do come down here, it'll be quick overnighters or a quick 24 hours, or as in today, 48 hours. But I can put a lot more video together for your enjoyment, and hopefully we can catch a few fish as well. So enjoy. It's time to kick back, bivvies up, rods out, and we are fishing. I'll talk about tactics a little bit later, talk about bait, but for now it's time to chill out, have a brew, and enjoy my time down here. See you in a bit. Bye bye. Right, first fish of the trip. Probably been here a couple of hours, and yeah, what a nice way to start. Volume 19 of bowling for carp. Right, let's put it back. Well guys, you joined me at 6:30. About an hour ago the rods was reeled in, fresh hook bait put on and zipped back out onto the spot, especially where I had that fish earlier. It's the only fish that's been out today, so we're doing something right, and hopefully that will continue. Got a few issues at the moment with the black chickens. We are at war with them at the moment, and every now and again we have a good load of them come over my spot and dive bomb on my baited area. However, I have found a new way to get rid of them. If I cast the spod over the top of them, when it hits the surface of the lake, don't make any difference. But if you leave that dot spot there for a good minute, just keep tweaking it back, it does seem to make them coots a little bit wary, and they do drift off. So at the moment that's the tactic. I've got to put out a little bit more bait at the moment because they're out there again, and yeah, look at them, they're literally a mass of them. So yeah, that's the war, and it's going to continue on until they literally move off me this evening or tonight with a bit of luck. So I'm not going to update the video blog again for the evening. I'm going to get my head down early, get up fresh for in the morning, and as soon as I wake up I'm going to bring the rods in, put them back out on the spot, because I've said it before that these fish do push out of this swim and they will glide back in during the morning, and hopefully we'll get a bite. So good night, see you a bit later hopefully with the fish. If not, I'll see you at first light in the morning getting these rods back out on spots. Good night. Well, good morning, 4:30 in the morning, and I'm up out chasing, and as soon as I got up this morning I was straight out reeling these rods in, re-clipping them back up and putting them back out onto the baited areas. Because we're fishing in and around weed, I wanted to make sure that these rods are in situ, fishing effectively for when these fish turn up in this swim. If you've seen any of my other previous vlogs where I've fished in here, the fish are very well known to turn up in this swim during the day, and you usually have quiet nights in here. Everywhere else usually have bites in the night, apart from this swim where I can usually pick up a fish in the day. So me getting up, resetting them, putting them back out on the spot, we're now fishing effectively with a little bit of luck. And yeah, I'm waiting for them fish to turn up now, and hopefully we'll bag a fish this morning. Expected mild weather conditions today on a northeasterly wind, which is pushing down the opposite corner, and it's going to swing round by tomorrow morning, and it's going to be on a southeasterly, which is just down the corner, down to the right. So I've got today, another night, and we'll be off tomorrow morning. But yeah, enjoying the brew, waiting for these fish to turn up, and let's see what comes for this morning's spell. So I'll see you in a bit. Ta-da. Well, 9:30 on the morning, rod's just ripped off out the blue, and I've got to be honest, I wasn't expecting it. I'm just packing up because I'm going to get back off home. Got a few things to do, so I'm going to drop off 24 hours early and get back off home, do a few little things that have got to be done. So I'll see you on the next episode of this volume 19 when I'm back down next time. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button in the corner, and see plenty more videos like this onwards and upwards with volume 19. Put the video up, Tosh. Right, fish number 3. I did say I was going to go home, but seen a couple of fish show over my baited area, so I thought, you know what, I'll wait it out a little bit longer and see if anything comes along. So I put everything away, just my rods out, and yeah, went away with this lovely clean common. Right, let's put her back, send her on away. She's not very happy. Well, good evening, welcome to Bowling for Carp 19. This is my 3rd visit of the month down here, and we are out chasing them. Now, I come onto the lake this morning, believe it or not, at 5:30 this morning, and it was obvious that the lake was pretty busy. There was probably about 4 or 5 swims that was available. However, the swims that was available, I didn't fancy them very much, and I didn't think, you know, it'd waste my time going in there and just camping. So I had a walk around in the morning, and I was probably down here for a couple of hours, and after talking to a couple of anglers, getting some of the information of when they're coming on and off, it was plainly obvious a lot of the anglers was down for 72 hours and there wasn't much choice happening. However, I did get a little bit lucky because the guy in the swim I'm in at the moment, which is the island swim, which you've seen me in for the past twice now, was coming out on the afternoon. So I said to him, I'll tell you what, I'll give you my number. When you're coming out, then just give me a ring, live 5 minutes away, and I will come back and plot up and get fishing out of this swim once again. We've got a really heavy northeasterly wind pushing through, and I did go down to the bottom of the M6 bank on that wind, and let me tell you, I can't see fish being down there. It's really cold, and if you stand here at the back, on the back of the wind where we are, then it is just a different feel at the back of this wind, and it's rather mild down there. But let me tell you, go on the other side and you are being blown a really cold wind. So being that I've caught fish out of here twice this month, I've put the rods back out on the spots where I caught the other fish from, and the spot where I've caught majority of my fish when I fished in here, I have got that area covered. Put about 5-6 spodfuls of boilie over the top and crushed boilie, and we're going to keep them there for the night. By the time I got into this swim, to be fair, I think most of the bites time had come and gone for this swim, so I'm not expecting anything going through the night. Again, I think I'm going to have to wait till in the morning to get a bite. I've got Andy next to me to the right, so we're having a little bit of a social distancing social, and yeah, looking forward to the couple of days down here ahead, and fingers crossed I'll get into a couple of fish for my efforts of waiting it out this morning till this afternoon and this evening. So catch you a little bit later, and I'll update the video blog if we get a fish, but for now I'll probably see you in the morning. Well, good morning, 8:30 in the morning. We are up out chasing and hopefully and eventually catching. At the moment we're doing none of that, and unfortunately we had a quiet night and a quiet spell this morning. Though I'm going to keep these rods in situ till round about 11 o'clock. I usually do get up in the morning, recast the rods in this swim and get them presented for the morning ahead. However, I didn't do that this morning because I seen a fish show probably about 2 rod lengths behind the back of my spot, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to leave these in situ and keep them fishing. Unfortunately, a couple of hours passed since then and we haven't had a fish, but still early days. 8:30, I've had fish up till around about 11 o'clock as in regards to bite time, so we'll keep these rods in situ till then. A little bit of drama last night. We had the police round because there's a missing person who's locked his car up just down the road, so we had quite a few police going around the lake looking for him. And we've also had a bivvy fire as well on the opposite bank, where somebody's petrol stove has gone up inside the bivvy, and that guy packed up and went off to the hospital apparently. So a little bit of drama. Thankfully that guy is okay, but it just shows you to be really extra careful when you're messing around with your stoves inside your bivvy. So nothing more to update. Just going to chill out and see if anything comes before 11 o'clock before I bring these rods in and represent them back out on the areas. Right, well, I'm almost sure this is a recapture. at £23, and I had it in this swim last year, but still a welcome visitor. It took me 24 hours to catch this fish, but we're off. Hopefully a few more to turn up as well. Lovely.
That's about £30 that, we're full of spawn.
Yeah.
Would be? Quite a big long thing.
I'm sure it's the same one I've had twice.
That tail bites dorsal fin, he's got a fucking chunk out of it. Get back to work.
That's the front. So you boys, I got this problem, have you? You know what I mean? You gotta have hands all over the place. That'll do. So, 10:30 on the night, we are right in the middle of a storm, and it is right over the top of us as we are talking, and not too sure whether you can actually sense how bad it is, but it is really throwing it down, torrential wind, and you know what? We are actually on the side of the wind. I wouldn't actually like to be down on the bottom of the M6 down there, because I'll tell you what, they are in for one rough ride. And oh dear, this is a bad one. As long as my pod don't go over, I'm all good. You know what? This is the beauty of being out with nature, carp fishing. It ain't all about catching really, though I have caught, but this is the sort of thing that I sort of enjoy, to be fair. I know I'm absolutely sitting in here cringing every time you have a flash or a little bit of thunder like that, and it doesn't help that I've got a load of boats behind me with the sails sticking up, and there's probably literally about 100 behind me, so they are really prime for all getting struck by lightning. As long as it don't hit that tree right behind the back of my swim, I think we'll be okay. But yeah, I'm going to switch this off, ride out the storm, and hopefully on the back of it there will be some fish. Right, good night, wish me luck, over and out. Good night. Well, good morning. 4 o'clock in the morning, and after a night of thunderstorms, the pressure's dropped dramatically, and it is looking good for a fish. But I said that yesterday, didn't I? But always after a thunderstorm, you want to be out on the bank, because that's one of the most productive times that I found over my years of fishing. Not going to touch the rods again, not until about 9 o'clock. I want to leave them in situ and continue watching the water with a brew. Oh, always the best brew of the day, isn't it? The first one. A short time I've been up, not seen any fish. It's like a mill pond out there at the moment. No wind on it. We're expecting south-easterly winds, 67 miles an hour today, which is all pushed down into the corner down to my right hand side. Yeah, so I'm going to enjoy this morning. Update the video blog if we do have a fish later, and roll on with the day. Probably here till about 7 o'clock on the evening tonight, if nothing else comes up beforehand. And then obviously I'll leave early. Right, back to the brew. Ta-da. The man is in again.
Right out there on the top.
I was only saying last night, Andy, that you blew your cherry, and you was blanking.
Please come in.
Oh, this is your PB.
Please come in.
Oh, you're going to get so wet.
No, I'm not.
This is the song, the bucket of water song.
Got a low immune system. You're not trying water over me.
All that water, and it's just got to go across your lines, hasn't it? Here we go.
Don't put the tips down first, you know.
Yeah.
Light now, but it's only a little stuck.
Come out, was he?
He's up proper.
Got your other line, mate. I've took the bail arm off. Yeah, nice little one, that, mate. Just bring him over slowly. Got it.
Who's that? Is that John again on the phone? Who are you texting? John again? I get away all the time. It's a fish, isn't it? It's a blank saver. It's only 16-14. Tell you what, that definitely feels heavier than what it is.
Yeah. Stop it. Well done, Anne.
No, it's just... No, it's just the slime on it. Hang on. No, it is, it's milking, look.
You got some stuff to put in its mouth.
Hang on, look, it's milking.
It's alright.
No, I'm just saying.
Stop messing with it. You're hungry, man, a bit too much there, Andy.
I can know exactly after he had to fucking snort then, look. I bet that tastes fucking lovely, mate, doesn't it? Best stuff out, buddy.
I'm sure he prefers you messing around that end. Oh dear. My turn in a minute.
I'm going for another one now.
You're here till 12 anyway, aren't you? Go on. It's a big fatty, eh? So, just got home from the Bowl Syndicate, brought the session to an end early. Basically, there was a couple of guys that wanted to drop in as close to the car park as possible. And with that, Andy had given up one of his spaces for that angler to get in and fish on the island swim. And there was two in a party, so I just said, you know what, drop in and I'll pack up early and get back off home. But you know what, it was a difficult session, but we managed to winkle one out, and also Andy managed to catch one as well. So all good, and a positive session going forward. Next time I'll be out probably next week, and we will continue on with Bowling for Carp 19. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next trip down on the Bowl Syndicate. Welcome to Chasing Chunks TV, and welcome to my final video blog entry down here for Bowling for Carp 19. Now, since my last entry, this place has literally shut off, and as soon as that weeds come up, I'm sure these fish have been feeding heavily on naturals, and not a lot of fish have come out. I went over onto the M6 bank, done a 24-hour session over there, and at the end of it, a blankety blank checkbook and pen was delivered to Tosh Swim special delivery. I come back the week after. I thought, you know what, I'll come and get my revenge on these fish, but these fish had other thoughts, and they decided to spawn over where they did previously. So that's the second time, and that's another week out, and I've been itching to get back and do a little bit of time on here. However, when there was spawning, I went off to another lake. Look out for them video blogs, because I have got another water, and it's just somewhere that I can just jump on and off. If this place ain't fishing, I can get down there and then possibly catch some fish. But even though I'm down there, my thoughts are always on this place and bagging that big scaly mirror out of there. And because of that, I've kept an eye on what's been going on. There's a few guys on the weekend, and the only fish to come out was out on the man bank and out on the island swim where I'm currently set up. Because I've not seen anything, because I know a few spots out from the island swim, then I'm going to have an investigation with my lead, see what it's like out there. I'm expecting it to be pretty dense weed at the moment, but if I can find somewhere that I can present my rig, somewhere a little bit better with less weed, then I'm going to be in half a chance of catching something out of there. So I'm going to spin round to the head cam, I'm going to have a lead around, get some rigs out, and hopefully by the end of this video blog entry we can have a couple of chunks on the mat, or even one will do. So I'll catch you a little bit later, guys, and time to get busy. At the start of every session we need to have a probe around, see what's out there and see if there's much weed. Now this rod is actually clipped up to 25 wraps, basically because when I was over there, that's the sort of distance I was doing, 100 yards. Yeah, there's a bit of weed out there. In fact, down to that left hand side, it's pretty weedy. So I'm just going to work my way across now towards the island, see if I can find anything that's pretty clear. I don't think we're going to get that it's going to be really clear, but if it's somewhere that's going to be a little bit lighter, then all the better. After an hour of leading around, I've literally found somewhere to fish. Boom! Thankfully we got it. Right, second rod going out. Hopefully it's going to go over to the right hand side of where I've just put that rod out. But you know what? You'll probably find that it'll land exactly where I wanted it to land before I put this rod out on the other rod. Yep, that'll do, that'll do. Happy with that. First time in the asking. Three more out. Half past 10 on the night. I'm just about to get in the bag and do the night, but before then I thought, you know what, let's pick up the camera, do a final video blog entry for the night and just talk about this evening and what went on this evening. Basically we had an hour where this wind died off and it was literally like a mill pond on here, and it was a great time for me to bring these rods in and put them back out on the spot. And boy, each one went out first time asking, and it's surprising once you haven't got any wind how much easier it is to put your rods out on the marks. With that wind pushing through earlier, it did take a few times to get it, because we're actually casting up wind to be dragged back where your baited area is. And yeah, it took a few times this morning, but once the wind had gone, bang bang bang, first time. Now I've had a little bit of a change on my left hand rod, which was on a solid bag. I've taken the solid bag off and I've put a long running chod on there. So basically what it is a leader. You've got a bead here and a bead right at the top of a metre long leader, and what happens when I cast in, the lead plummets through the weed, the chod itself rides up to the top bead and then just settles ever so lightly on top of the weed or debris that's out in the lake. That rod is probably about, I'd say about 15 foot off the baited area on a single, and that's where it's going to stop for the evening. Now, I was doing a little bit of filming earlier in and around the island area, and I thought, you know what, I didn't see any fish. I thought, well, let's go and have a look over on the opposite bank in and around where them fish were spawning last week in the weed beds. Went over there. It is literally black with fish over there, and I would say a majority of the stock from the lake was over in them weed beds. It was just crammed full of fish, and there was literally touching each other with the amount of fish over there. So with that in mind, there is a possibility that I'm going to be moving in the morning over to Green Angles. The guy's coming out around about 11 o'clock in the morning from over there, and yeah, if I've not had anything out of here by 11:30, I'm going to pack my car up, get round there and do the next 24 hours from that swim. So I'll see you in the morning, or maybe, just maybe, and hoping that we're going to get a fish out of this swim. But for now, it's time to get off to sleep. Good night. Well, good morning. 5:30 in the morning. We're up out chasing, and unfortunately we are blanking. The big move may be on this morning at some time, and the swim opposite Green Angles is going to be coming available when the angler comes out today. As I said yesterday, there's a lot of fish over there, and rather there for a reason, because the weather conditions on this side are literally perfect to have fish, and with these winds pumping in here, everything says that the fish should be here. But the drone footage yesterday is saying otherwise. So I'm going to leave these rods in till around about 11 o'clock, and I'm just going to have a slow pack down, put some of the non-essential stuff in the car, and if these rods don't rattle off this morning, I'm definitely going to be going around there and doing the next 24 hours in there. But as I said, everything says the fish should be down and around this area, because any other time you would find them down here, and any other time you usually get a pick up. But again, still early at the moment, and when I've been getting my bites, it's been really round about 8 in the morning onwards. So yeah, just going to enjoy the morning. See you later. Well guys, you join me over at Green Angles. First time I've actually fished this on camera, and obviously I've been interested in it since yesterday after putting the drone over there and seeing how many fish are in these weed beds. Tactics at the moment is I'm not planning on putting any rigs out there at the moment. If you can see the birds and you can see the mixers, I'm putting mixers out at the moment because these fish are up in the water column and they're just sitting just below the surface. So if I catapult some dog biscuits out, I'm hoping to try and get them off the top if they're interested, and if I can feed these birds off, we may be in a chance of getting a surface bite. And yeah, it's just a case of just keep trickling in these baits at the moment. No point putting in my rigs just yet, because basically we've gone past bite time and I won't get another take until tonight or first thing in the morning. But there is always a chance of a surface bite out of here. Sorry about the noise at the back, it's a lot more different than over there. But yeah, let's flip round to the head cam and see whether we can get these fish feeding. So you join me back at 5 o'clock. Second rod has just gone out after a day of trying to get these fish away from the weeded areas with the mixers, and they would not have it at all. Got them feeding, and I've got a couple of fish feeding, but they certainly won't come out of that weed bed because they know very, very well that they're very safe in there, and they've got a good chance of not being landed if I take my rig too far into that weed. I'd rather just not fish for them if I'm going to lose them. And with my rigs, I've literally done everything I can possible to make them as safe as possible. Left hand rod is on a running rig, barbless hook, and it's also got a the lead on that is on a lead clip, and it's just lightly just nicked on, so the lead will drop, and if we get weeded up then the line can just pass through, and yeah, the fish will have no problem getting rid of that rig being barbless. Middle rod has gone out on a solid bag, once again on a drop-off system, and yeah, I'm only going to fish 2 rods in this swim because it's too tight, and if I've got to go out in the water during the night for a fish, then having 3 lines out there is just going to make things a whole lot more of a difficult issue to deal with. So just having the 2 rods out there, knowing where them lines are, then I can use it to my advantage, and if we do get a fish, then I know where they are and what they're doing, rather than having 3 spread across the swim. It ain't going to be the one. I've got myself a nice little footpath down on the right hand side, and I can get out there, no problem at all, and play the fish. So sensitivity is turned up to the full on the alarms. I'm going to be sleeping in my waders. Yeah, it's not the ideal, but it has got to be done in this situation. I want to be on them rods faster than that fish can be ploughing through weed, and that is why I've brought my rods up here, so I can hit into them, hit and hold, even before it starts to get its head down into the weed, and then I can play the fish going out into the swim, and hopefully we will land whatever we pick up. I am confident. There is lots and lots of fish out there, and when I had the drone up earlier, there's literally hundreds of fish. It's just littered full of fish, all up in the higher water columns, just sitting in the weed. You know very well, a little bit later, once the temperature starts to drop down a little bit and the pressure starts to drop, then fish will source the clear areas, and they'll want to get out that way because the weed will then start to suck in oxygen during the night, and it's only during the day that it's actually emitting oxygen. So then fish ain't going to want to be in them reed beds all the 24 hours I'm going to be here. I think if I'm going to get a take, it's going to be tonight or first thing in the morning. So time to get the bits and pieces together and finally have a little bit of a relax, because it has been literally non-stop, and yeah, I'm working really hard to try and bag a fish for this episode of 19. Well guys, unfortunately once again it was a quiet night and nothing come to these rods. The only little bit of action I had during the night was a bat hitting my line as it's going through onto that stick, just to keep the line out the water. And yeah, I was up and down through the night with what I thought may be the start of takes, but no, it was the bats hitting the line. Pretty uncomfortable night. Slept in the waders, basically because obviously I wanted to get on these rods as soon as possible in the water if I did get a take. So I'm going to be pretty happy when I can get out of them this morning and finally let my legs dry out. Obviously been in plastic all night. Yeah, wasn't very comfortable at all. So really it just sums up the session. However, on a positive note, my good friend Aaron, who's next door, he bagged a fish last night, 25 I think it was. And that's his first fish down here on the Bowl Syndicate to open his account. Hopefully I'll be able to show you the photo, but well done to him. I know he watches the video, so yeah, really chuffed. Hopefully he can go on and bag some absolute belters as well. So I'm going to get packed up this morning. I'm going to get back off home. I might just bin this off for a month or two, or wait until it starts to wake up again and then get back down, but certainly isn't fishing very well at the moment, and I ain't gonna sit here chasing them if they're not up for the feed. I think if I do come down, then it'll probably be with flouter fishing, and yeah, have a go at them like that rather than try and wait it out with a baited rig. So see you later guys, and I'll just update you before I go in the next couple of hours. Ta-ra. Well guys, bowling for Carp 19 is done, and I'd just like to say a massive thank you to all my subscribers, all my viewers, and everybody that takes time out to comment on my videos, because it's these sort of comments and also the likes that spur me on to keep making these videos. Now, volume 19, really, with them fish spawning, being quiet, then there's not too many fish on this video, but hopefully you'll get something from this, enjoy it, and you enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed making it. So, greatly appreciated once again if you're new to my channel, just to click on the bell on this icon just down here, just underneath to the right, the bell icon, and never miss another video like this again. So from me, it's a bish bash bosh, keep it tosh, wet nets, tight lines. See you on my next video, guys. Please stay safe. Bye bye.